What's up guys, my name's Ryan and this is the PSC Life. So this is my statue lineup. Feel free to take a moment to laugh at it. Anyway, I've been asked a lot how the heck any task force will let me play with them. I totally understand it's really hard to see what place a 3 offensive player has in an offensive oriented aspect of the game, such as operations. I've been playing in a 25-man team running dead end to deep cut for a number of months, and I've also recently had the great opportunity playing in a 50-man running Forlorn Hope, where about 20% of the members have a heavy ice or power stone chance lineup. With access to all these awesome replays, I thought it would be worthwhile to share some so you can see what a 3 offense player is capable of and how these teams use their leaderboard pushing players. First up, we have former #1 global Bloke 2008 attacking in Outworks. He's going to go ahead and farm some of the free power cells to get some GBE built up, after which he's going to bring his troops over to the left. Notice how he only deploys 4 boats at first so that he has the ability to really control them and farm exactly what he needs. Once he gets through that, he's going to farm the flamethrowers, and then he's going to flare back to bring the rest of his Zukas into the pack. After that, he's going to start smoking up, go over to the rocket and the laser beam. So he'll throw his 1-2 smokes, and then he'll head on over. He's going unboosted here with just 3 statues, so he starts off with 74 gunboat energy. So he's going to flare the laser beam, throw 1-2 shocks, take out the laser beam and the rocket, and then he's going to re-smoke his troops so they don't get hit when the shocks wear off, and smoke them back over to the left. From there, he's free to start hitting the boom cannons and cannons, the single shot defenses, start taking those down and work towards the shield generators. This is a really great attack because he opened up the whole left side, making it so people behind him don't have to smoke their walk over, and he cleared almost every single defense around the shields, making it easy to access them in the future. He actually ended up running out of time here, which is really amusing. Next up is another former #1 named Little Pig Sister. He's going to go ahead and aim for this rocket launcher to reduce shocks for the finishing attack on this Coker base. So he's going to deploy his hookah. He's going to do this so that he can shield his Zukas from the rockets. Notice he only uses 1 smoke on this grouping. And he's going to go ahead and flare up near the rocket. He's going to flare right on the shock mine. This is because he's going to get his heavies parked on that mine, and then he's going to flare the rocket directly. Notice he throws his last smoke before his second last, so the heavies will peak first. Once he flares, this means that the rockets, some of the lasers, and that machine gun are going to target the heavies rather than the Zukas. So once the smoke clears, he shocks the flamethrowers and 2 of the lasers, gets the rocket down, and immediately his Zukas and troops just get roasted. But he has enough GBE at the end to barrage the mines for the final hit. Next up is an attack of mine. This is probably my most commonly used trick that I do on bases like this. When someone leaves just a little bit of health left on the core, rather than boosting up and smoking all the way to the back and trying to pull off the attack, I calculate how much damage needs to be done to the core to take it down. Each building you take down deals a percentage of the damage to the core up to 70% total, meaning that on this base, 5,061 damage will be done to the core each time a building is destroyed. If I destroyed a total of 33 buildings, then this core would go down on its own. I probably need about 2/3 of that, just counting in the gunboat energy I put directly into the core. So I'll deploy hookah, go ahead and farm these power cells while protecting the Zukas from the rocket and the mortars. This builds up some GBE on my attack, so I have the GBE to shock and throw critters and do everything that I need to do to try to reduce the number of casualties. Once I destroy the buildings, I'll flare back and go ahead and start farming the right where there are no rockets in range. Go ahead and attack the boom cannons and throw down some critters to try to protect my heavies and save them for the end. I know that the core is getting pretty close to destroyed at this point with all the buildings I destroyed at the beginning. I'm just going to build up a little bit more gunboat energy to throw some more GBE at the core to try to finish it off. Throw some critters down to distract the boom cannons. Go ahead and shock the boom cannons once. Try to reduce the number of heavies that I lose because I know this is really an easy attack for me. Let the critters be in front right as the boom cannons clear to protect the heavies at the end, and just keep clearing buildings out, build up a little bit more gunboat energy. I have enough to throw another artillery at this point. I'm going to go ahead and destroy the boom cannons, re-flare up to the corner, and then throw that last artillery, and that'll actually be enough to take the core down at that point. This is a really good trick for anybody to use, not only a PSC player. Anybody, when there's a core that has 200,000 or less, you can really do the math to see if there's anything you can farm to try to take it down without having to boost for a full attack. Next up we have an attack from one of the co-leaders named Cold77. He's going to attack a maze that has rockets and shock blasters all over the beach. So he's going to deploy 6 boats of troops using 4 smokes. He's not going to flare at all, so his troops stay spread out across the 2 shock blasters. And notice his flagging is right at the very end of the landing site so that they all stay under the last 2 smokes. When they clear, he's going to shock the laser beam that's in range and the rockets. A laser gets a hit at some of the Zookas, and notice the building health is just so high on this base that he really has to work for a while to get those shock blasters down and is just barely able to do it. Once that's done, he lets his troops go because there's nothing else he can do with those. He's going to sit and think for a little while. His goal is to try to take out 1 more shock blaster. He's going to have to address the 2 shock blasters because he only has 26 Zookas left, as well as to shock that first row of rockets and the laser beam. So he's going to throw 1 smoke, deploy his troops pretty close to the shock blaster, not flare anything yet, leave them under that 1 smoke, and when it clears he's going to throw a box of critters and 1 shock on the laser and rockets, and go ahead and work on this shock blaster. He's going to throw 1 more critter as those first critters die, and he's just barely going to have enough to get the job done. This is a really cool attack for me because the beach is so clustered and cluttered with things that there's really not a whole lot of things that a full offensive player could do that he wasn't able to do. It's really cool to see somebody with so little resources be able to work on a base this hard. And of course I saved my favorite attack for the end. We have Bloke 2008 once again. He's going to attempt Dioxin. This is normally a pretty tough base that requires 5 to 6 GBE statues to pull off. There's only a little bit of health left on this core, so he's able to cheese it a little bit. 8 boats of Zookas with 1 troop damage statue can deal about 147,000. So if he gets 2 salvos off, then that'll be about 300,000, which is a really good amount for something like this. I was really impressed when I saw this attack. I wasn't expecting him to be able to pull off a full walk on Dioxin just as an offensive player would do it, with just his 1 gunboat energy statue allowing him 74 starting GBE, and no buildings cleared ahead of time. Notice his smoke spacing is just so precise. Once he flares up, he has enough GBE for 1 critter box and 1 shock. He's going to throw his critter a little bit close to his Zookas, but that shock on the shock launchers and some rockets will give him just enough time to take down the core. I hope this has been a pretty cool look for you guys into how a 3 offensive player is able to participate in ops. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought, and if there's anything specific you'd like to see next. Until next time, my name's Ryan, this has been the PSC Life, and happy booming!